only 16 challenge run. This is the ASMR episode, and it's the final show before the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So let's just get it underway. Enough with that anyway. We start with welcome to the most must-see WWE talk show in history. Welcome to McMiz TV. Miz says that him and Shane are co-besties, they're the co-best in the world. And they're getting on so well right now as best friends and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions that Miz is going to let Shane co-host his iconic WWE talk show, the most must-see talk show in history, Miz TV. And their guests tonight are going to be the Usos, who are their opponents at Elimination Chamber. And the Usos would come out and immediately, they wouldn't have their own mics, they'd snatch them away from Miz and Shane. And then they'd be like, "Hey Uso, we're not interested in anything you have to say, Us." Because they'd call Shane and Miz are an embarrassment to the SmackDown Tag Division and to tag team wrestling as a whole. They say the Usos, they've been down since day one, and they've had this division on lockdown for their entire run, which is, I believe, 9 years. 10 if you count FCW. And they're not going to let a joke tag team like the Miz and Shane McMahon get in their way. And they're going to reclaim what they believe is rightfully theirs, the SmackDown Tag Team titles. They would then be interrupted by Sanity. Eric Young would come out with a microphone and he'd be like, "Hey Usos, you've been here for a decade, like you said, and you're clogging up the top spot on this SmackDown Tag Team division. It's time for you to step aside and give teams like us a shot." And then we get an impromptu match between the Usos and Sanity, which the Usos would win. Apparently there's a lack of psychology, which is weird considering the Usos are in there. We then get, I don't have a specific dialogue for this, just the Iconics and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville cutting a promo on why each of them feel like they should win the Elimination Chamber. I think the Iconics cut one like this last week, but there's only so much you can do. And apparently Mandy and Sonya pick up the win over the Iconics, but I can see here it says that they don't have any chemistry as a team, so they may be short-lived. They're not dubbed Fire and Desire in this universe because I don't understand what's so fiery about Sonya Deville. But doesn't matter because it looks like they might break up soon. Backstage, the Usos walking through the hallway, but then they stop. The camera would pan out and reveal the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, standing on their left, and on their right is the New Day. Sheamus is like, "Oh, all three of us, fella, we'd never really gotten on with each other. We've beaten each other up, but we do share one common sentiment. That is that the Usos, you must defeat Shane McMahon and The Miz at the Elimination Chamber, because they're holding the tag team titles hostage, and the Usos need to win and bring prestige back to the tag team titles like they belong." And then Woods says, "Yes, the New Day agree, and when the Usos get the titles back, the three of them will have another classic and make those titles mean what they're supposed to mean instead of them being strapped around Shane McMahon." Just a quick match with nothing really to it. EC3 over Shelton Benjamin. It actually did better than I thought it would. We then get just a hype package for the Charlotte Becky stuff, because they are technically SmackDown wrestlers. The whole thing has been going down on Raw, so like, hey, this is what the SmackDown people have been doing on that show you probably don't watch because it's an extra hour. And building up to the match on Sunday where if Charlotte wins, she gets in the WrestleMania match. Following on from there, failed tag team run 2 weeks ago, Naomi and Carmella actually have a match, which Carmella wins thanks to interference from Lana. Which after the match, her and Lana get in the ring and they beat up Naomi, throwing her around ringside, and then they would dance together in the most dickhead way possible to cement that this is a heel alliance. Yeah. Carmella as a face, like, sort of had a shelf life, I feel, so better to turn her now. She's better at being the dickhead anyway. Sit down with Andrade and Zelina Vega. And then Vega just explains everything that Andrade hates about Rey Mysterio. He says Rey's hanging on to his glory days, and it is Andrade's mindset that he will be the greatest luchador to ever live. And to do that, he did take Rey Mysterio aside, who the fans see as the greatest luchador of all time because he has a cool mask and he's been popular for 20 years. So he's just the most historical name, but Andrade's out to change history. He's the future and the present of both WWE and Lucha Libre. And this will be proven this Sunday when he scores pinfall after pinfall in the Iron Man match against Rey Mysterio. Asuka's back and she's scoring a 78. Jesus Christ. Anyway, just a quick squash win over Aaliyah, who's not being called up. This is just a one-off thing because I had no other women to have Asuka lose to, or beat even, sorry. But then after the match, Asuka celebrating the win, and then we get this weird static appear on the screen. The lights go off and it's all spoopy, and then the words "Nikki is coming" flash across the screen. The lights will come back on. Asuka's like all confused because it appears Nikki Cross is on SmackDown and has her sights set on the SmackDown Women's Champion. I'll take it. Main event. The face team of Mustafa Ali. It's the 6-man with the 6-man in the Elimination Chamber. Mustafa Ali, Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles beat Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton. Ali's actually scoring the same as Jeff now, which is good. Just giving the face team the momentum before the big cage match on Sunday. This go-home show overall gets a B. I think this is the weakest show I've done, all save. It says we used the Sanity members too much, and we lost in as many regions as we gained. So that was the go-home show. The only thing between this and the impending Elimination Chamber is good old 205 Live, which I'll jump into right now. And we're back for 205 Live. And we start off with Drake Maverick. This is actually a pretty important segment here. He says that alongside the impending arrival of some extra talent to keep 205 Live fresh, he's going to spice up the competitive nature of the Cruiserweight division. And says that this week is the start of a new formula, as there will now be a point system in track for it's only for one-on-one matches on the show. And then every single one-on-one victory that you score will allocate you a point. Or the point will go to the winner. And if you lose a one-on-one match, the number of wins you have, the number of points you get, will be reset back to 0. So if you have 2 points, you get 2 back-to-back wins, and you lose 1, you drop back to 0. If you get 3 consecutive victories, then that makes you the automatic number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight title. And alongside this, if you score a pinfall or submission victory over the Cruiserweight champion in a non-title match of any kind, so if you pin him in a tag match, pin him in a triple threat, one-on-one, then you instantly get yourself a title shot from that as well, regardless of how many wins you've got. So you could have 0 wins, pin the champion, you're contender. TJP then comes out bitching because he got a win last week against Kalisto, and he's bitching now. That now means nothing because the point doesn't count. But Drake says it will count if he can pick it up again, as we get Kalisto versus TJP 2. Oh boy! And this time, Kalisto gets the win, gets himself a point. Moving on. Kendrick is backstage before he has a match with Morgan Webster that will also count towards the points. He says that his partner will be here next week to team with him to take on the team of Jack Gallagher and Morgan Webster. But for now, he's still outnumbered, and as such, causes him defeat in this match, scoring Morgan Webster his first point towards becoming the next number 1 contender. Then get Daivari and Gulak cutting a quick promo before the main event, saying how they know it's a tag match, but for them this isn't about scoring points and becoming the champion. It's about putting an end to flippy lucha parties, which they failed to do because Grand Metalik picked up the victory in the main event, 205 Live, which gets us a 52B+, because there was no women on the show again. And just for a quick tally, here is how the 205 Live scoreboard stands after this episode. Kalisto and Webster on 1 point. Early runnings. Will one of them get to 3 and become the next contender? You'll have to wait and see, but that is all. Next will be the Elimination Chamber. See you then.